What's up, YouTubers and plant lovers? It's Justin, and today I wanted to tell you how I care for my Staghorn Fern. So, before we get into that, I did want to take a minute and update you all on what's been up the past year and a half that I've been off. I got a new job, hated it, searched and found a better job, quit the first job, kept the second job, and then I got married. All was finally right. And then I ended up having a small health scare with my type 1 diabetes. Anyways, I took a little rest, got healthy, and now I'm back and ready to go. Now I did notice that my Staghorn Fern didn't seem to be doing too well. I noticed he hit like a plateau and wouldn't produce any new leaves. The ones he did have didn't seem to be that healthy. They didn't have that dark, kind of deep jade green color that I'd seen on other staghorns. I decided to take him out of his pot and the substrate he was in and try something else that was either 1, healthy for him, and 2, looked good and was functional for me. I didn't really want to mount him to a board, so I decided to try Kokodama. Here's how that went. Staghorn Fern, Platycerium bifurcatum, Kokodama. These ferns are native to the tropical and subtropical regions of the world, the 4 A's to be more specific: Africa, Australia, South America, and Southeast Asia. This means that they are in climates that are consistently hot, humid, year-round with abundant rainfall. Now remember, when caring for your plant, the best way to do that is by recreating the natural environment as close as possible. Typically, tropical and subtropical areas receive a ton of sunlight. Being epiphytes, which means they're non-parasitic, but they'll grow on top of other plants, usually trees, and sometimes inanimate objects. This needs to be taken into consideration when deciding on where to put the plant in your home. The tropical areas these plants are native to do receive a ton of sunlight, but being tucked up in a tree means the amount of light they receive is filtered by the leaves. For my Staghorn Fern's light requirements, I keep mine in an east-facing window. Depending on the time of year, I'll supplement additional light with a full-spectrum white LED grow light. These I've found are way better for my fern rather than the red and blue or the purple full-spectrum LED grow lights are. Tropical environments receive anywhere from 80 to 150 plus inches of rainfall annually. Older, well-established ferns are more drought tolerant than younger and sicker ferns are. During the summer months, I water mine every 5 to 10 days. Outdoors, a lot of factors need to be taken into consideration, like temperature, light, humidity, and wind, along with a couple others, before deciding to water your plant and how often. If you're a seasoned grower, you can tell if your plant needs water either by picking the plant up and seeing if it feels light or heavy, or taking your finger and sticking it down in the plant substrate to see if you feel any moisture. If you do feel moisture, hold off for a day or two. During the colder months, watering needs to be cut back by about half. Always let the plant's root mass dry out in between waterings. Humidity is about the same as watering is. In their natural environments, humidity levels can be around 80 to 100%. Indoors, they enjoy levels of 60 to 75%. I try to keep my home's humidity levels at about 50 to 75% at any given time. Humidity levels are just as important during the cooler months as they are during the growing season. Our homes are designed to be hot, non-drafty, and bone dry, which is counterproductive to the kind of environments that they are found in. I prefer to use a humidifier rather than just spritzing my plant with a water bottle, which can invite pests and disease, especially if the plants aren't allowed to dry out in between spritzings. Soil can be a bit subjective. As I previously mentioned, the best way to keep your plants healthy and thriving is by recreating their natural environment as best as possible. Being epiphytes, they're usually found up in a tree, where their roots are out to the open air and not down in some soil. Now some ferns can be found in the crotch of a tree. That's the area where the trunk meets the stems or the branches. And that can create an area where debris is allowed to gather and pile up, and the roots can go down in there. So it is technically possible to put your plant in a soil-like mixture. This soil-like mixture needs to be loose, airy, and well-draining. A soil blend of orchid bark, sphagnum moss, and perlite or pumice works well. I found a ratio of 1 part orchid bark to 1 part sphagnum moss, and some pumice and perlite in smaller amounts as needed. If you're finding that your soil mixture isn't as malleable or thick as you prefer, you can add small amounts of bonsai soil or cacti soil to the mix until it gets to that consistency you desire. Remember, potting soils are designed to hold a bunch of water, especially around the plant's root mass, which can actually drown your plant. So a well-reputable potting soil is best in this situation, and again, a little bit goes a long way. A slightly acidic soil mixture works great for these plants. pH needs to be at a range of 5 to 6.5 for optimal growth, though a pH of 8 isn't unheard of. A well-balanced liquid fertilizer like Miracle-Gro's 20-20-20, diluted down to about a quarter and fed every other month, works great for these plants. Seaweed or kelp extract is another great one, especially if your plant's leaves begin to turn yellow. Staghorn ferns also enjoy a good compost tea or some fish emulsion if you have any of that. My grandmother used to take banana peels and cut them into small pieces and place them in the soil of the plant, hidden away. She would also take some and cut them into small pieces and put them in a jug of water for a couple of hours and water the plants with that. A lot of people I know swear by coffee grounds as a fertilizer, but I've never had success with that. Scale, mealybugs, spider mites, aphids, and thrips can all bother a staghorn fern. The best way to deal with that is by trying to prevent them in the first place. Always check your plants over when you can, top and bottom, to make sure you don't see anything. When I water my plants, I'll usually take them and stick them in the bathtub and use my detachable shower head to blast off any pests if there are any on there. Make sure you get on top of the leaves and under to be very effective. A good rainstorm outside is how Mother Nature keeps these plants in check. Isopropyl alcohol at 91% or higher, applied with a Q-tip or a washcloth, can kill most of these pests. And as a last resort, chemical warfare can be used sparingly. Remember, this stuff goes a long way. Well guys, thank you for watching the video. If you've ever cared for one of these ferns, let me know how it went down in the comments. These really are great plants to have in your home. If you know of anyone that has one of these plants, feel free to share the video. Don't forget, when you can, go out and plant something and help support nature. Let's help the planet fight back against us. And don't forget, always plant prudently. Thank you guys. I wanted to give a shout out to everyone who has supported me on Patreon while I was away. To everyone, even the free tier, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you want a shout out in future videos or to see videos early, check out the link in the description. I am slightly changing how my Patreon works going forward. There will be a free tier for updates on upcoming videos, as well as the paid options that will give you a shout out or early access to videos. As always, it is completely optional, but it does help me pay for things I use in my videos, such as soil, lights, and the plants themselves. A huge thank you to Deborah, Robert, Awana, Chad and Emily, Sue, Heather, Ian, David, Pam, and Gabrielle. Sorry if I butchered any of them.